Fellas, let me tell you something. Half of y'all have no idea when a woman is flirting with you. None. A woman could walk right up to you, ask you a question smoother than butter, and you think she just needed directions. Let me break it down. See, women don't shoot their shot like men do. They ain't gonna walk up to you and say, hey baby, you fine. Nah. A woman will walk over, smile real sweet, and ask a simple little question like, do you know where I can find this? Can you help me with something? Do you always come here? Is this seat taken? Fellas, that is not a question. That is a doorway to destiny. That is a woman saying, I picked you. Don't mess this up. Most men walk through life completely unaware of how often women try to flirt with them. And one of the biggest reasons is that women rarely approach with loud, obvious signals. Instead of bold moves or dramatic gestures, women use subtle questions as their way of showing interest. It's not because they're trying to be confusing, it's simply how most women communicate attraction. What looks like a simple question on the outside often carries layers of intention, curiosity, and emotional testing on the inside. So when a woman walks up and asks a man a small, casual question, she's usually doing much more than it appears. Women know that men don't always take hints well, but they also know that asking a question is a safe and natural way to open the door for conversation. A woman might ask you where something is in a store, even though she already walked past it twice and knows exactly where it is. She might ask you if you know the time, even though she has a phone in her hand and a smartwatch on her wrist. She might ask you if you come to that place often, even though she spotted you walk in for the first time. Those questions aren't about the topic, they're about you. She's checking if you're friendly, if you're confident, if you smile back, if you make eye contact, and most importantly, if you're interested in talking to her. Women are trained socially to be careful with their signals. A question feels safe because it doesn't embarrass them if the man isn't interested. If she asks something simple and the man is cold, uninterested, or too literal, she can pull back without feeling rejected. But if the man responds warmly, if he adds a little conversation, if he shows awareness beyond the question, she knows she picked the right person to approach. This is the key part, men miss. A question from a woman is rarely just a question. It's the start of a small test to see if you are safe, approachable, or someone she wants to get to know. When a woman asks you something, she doesn't necessarily need to ask. She's really saying, I noticed you, I chose you. Now let me see how you respond. And most of the time, men don't realize anything is happening. A woman might ask, do you know where the coffee shop is? And the man will give her perfect GPS directions as if he's working for Google Maps. Women laugh at this among themselves. They'll say, I tried to flirt with him and he told me where the nearest subway station is. She wasn't asking because she was lost. She was asking because she wanted to open a moment where the two of you could talk. A woman can tell within seconds whether you picked up on her intention. If you look nervous or confused, she knows you're not used to being approached. If you answer the question only and shut the conversation down, she knows you're not available or not paying attention. But if you engage, if you add something playful, if you let the moment breathe instead of killing it with dry information, she instantly knows there's potential. Women also pay attention to how a man reacts emotionally. If you brighten up when she speaks, she feels more confident. If you look bothered or annoyed, she withdraws immediately. Her question is not only a signal, but also a scan for your energy. She's trying to understand if you're open, kind, and comfortable. All of this happens in a matter of seconds, and a lot of men don't realize how much thought is behind such a small question. This subtle way of flirting is how most women communicate interest because it protects them from rejection, gives them space to observe you, and allows the interaction to grow naturally. Men who learn to recognize this shift in tone, this small spark hidden inside a question, suddenly realize how many opportunities they've missed before. Women often aren't waiting for you to chase them. They already approached you. They just did it in a quiet, clever way that you have to pay attention to. When a woman asks you something she already knows the answer to, she isn't seeking information, she's seeking connection. Women don't usually walk up to men randomly. They observe first, they feel the atmosphere, they sense your energy, and only when they feel safe enough or interested enough do they make the decision to approach. But instead of showing that interest directly, they do it through questions. These questions are intentionally simple, intentionally harmless, and intentionally designed to give both of you an opening without pressure. She might already know where the elevator is. She might already know what time it is. She might already know the name of the song playing, but she wants to see how you respond when she gives you a chance to interact. When a woman asks a question she doesn't need to ask, she's giving you a window into her comfort level. She's signaling that she feels it's safe to talk to you, that she's curious about you, and that she's open to the possibility of something more. Every woman has her own way of doing this, but the intention is almost always the same. She wants a moment with you without putting herself at risk of embarrassment. If you answer warmly, with presence and interest, then that small question becomes the seed of a conversation. If you answer in a cold or uninterested way, she can easily pretend she truly just needed the information. This protects her feelings while still offering you a chance. Women are masters at subtle communication. They don't just walk up and say, "Hey, I like you," because that puts them in a vulnerable position. Instead, they ask something tiny, something she already knows, to see if you know how to deepen the moment. She might ask, "Is this the line for coffee?" Even if she watched 5 people ahead of her order drinks, she might ask, "Do they close early today?" Even though she saw the sign posted on the door. She might ask, "Have you tried this place before?" when she's been coming there for years. These questions aren't about the coffee shop or the closing time. They're about seeing if you'll respond in a way that tells her you're open to connection. And this is where a lot of men miss the signal. Many men take the question literally instead of emotionally. When she asks something obvious, you might think she's confused or simply making small talk. But a woman doesn't go out of her way to ask a man she doesn't like for small talk. If she didn't find you interesting, she would stay silent, walk past you, or ask someone else. So when she picks you, even in a subtle way, it's a sign that you've already stood out to her. She noticed something, your demeanor, your style, your smile, and now she's trying to see if what she noticed is real. Women also use these known answer questions to measure your emotional intelligence. If she asks something simple and you just give a blunt, factual reply, she learns that you might not be naturally warm or conversational. But if you answer with a smile, with a follow-up question, or with a bit of humor, she instantly feels more connected. It tells her that you're socially aware, that you're not nervous around women, and that you know how to carry a moment instead of letting it die. These small signals matter a lot to women because they reveal what kind of connection could exist between you. Women also use these questions to test the vibe. She wants to see how your eyes react when she talks. Do you look surprised, confused, or genuinely happy that she approached? She notices if your tone softens, if you turn your body toward her, if you give her your full attention. These small behaviors tell her more about you than any direct question ever could. If your energy is open, she'll continue the conversation. If your energy is closed, she'll politely step away. A woman asking something she already knows is not about the content, it's about creating a moment. It's her way of saying, "I've given you the opportunity. If you want something to happen, you need to step into this moment with me." And once men understand this, they start noticing how often women actually initiate without ever looking like they're initiating. When men miss flirtation, it's usually because they take everything at face value. A woman might be standing right in front of you, giving you every opportunity to notice her. But if her approach comes wrapped inside a simple question, many men treat it like a customer service interaction instead of a moment of interest. Men often assume women will be obvious if they like someone, but in reality, women rarely take that risk directly. Instead, they use soft, subtle, comfortable signals. and questions are one of their favorite ways to communicate interest without exposing themselves to rejection. When a woman asks a question that sounds basic, she's not looking for information, she's looking for connection. But men often shut down the opportunity because they don't understand what's really happening under the surface. Part of the reason men miss these moments is because men are wired to be straightforward. If a man wants something, he usually says it or acts on it directly. So when a woman approaches with something gentle instead of bold, he misreads her intention. A woman might ask, "Do you work around here?" or "Is that drink good?" And instead of reading the emotional layer beneath it, a man answers like a robot. Simple question, simple answer. He doesn't pick up the tone in her voice, the softness in her eyes, the fact that she walked toward him, even though she didn't need to. She could have Googled the answer. She could have asked someone else. She could have kept walking, but she didn't. She chose you. And most men don't realize that choice is intentional. Women are subtle because subtlety is safe. A woman knows that making a bold move can lead to embarrassment, rejection, or even being judged harshly. So she tests the waters gently. She gives you a chance to show interest without putting herself in a vulnerable position. Many men think women want them to do all the work. But the truth is that women often create the moment, they just expect men to carry it forward. If she starts the interaction with a question, she wants to see if you can continue it with charm, humor, or confidence. When you fail to notice her softness, she assumes you're either uninterested or not socially aware enough to match her energy. Another big reason men miss flirtation is because they think too technically. A woman might ask for help with something simple, and instead of turning it into a playful exchange, a man focuses on solving the problem. She says, "How does this work?" And the man gives her a full tutorial. She says, "Do you know if this tastes good?" And the man explains the ingredients. He forgets that she didn't approach him for education, she approached him for connection. Women often laugh with each other about how men miss these signals. They'll say things like, "I was flirting with him so hard and he still didn't get it." Or, "I gave him so many chances and he acted like I was asking for customer support." Sometimes men also assume women wouldn't be interested in them, so they don't even consider the possibility that she's flirting. A man might think she's just being nice or just asking a question, because his own self-doubt blocks him from interpreting the situation correctly. But women rarely waste time on men they don't like. If she talked to you, there was a reason. And if she smiled while doing it, lingered for an extra second, or opened the door for conversation, she was hoping you'd pick up the signal. Women also pay attention to how you handle small interactions. She wants to see if you're the kind of man who turns a simple moment into something meaningful. If you freeze, she knows you lack confidence. If you answer dryly, she knows you're not emotionally present. But if you give her warmth, if you show genuine interest, if you keep the moment alive even a little, she immediately recognizes she chose right. And that's why understanding these subtle signals can transform the way men experience attraction. Women aren't silent, they're speaking. Men just need to learn how to listen beyond the literal words. When a woman approaches a man with a small, harmless question, she's really opening a doorway. It's an invitation to step into something more than a basic interaction. When she does this, she's offering you an opportunity, not information. Most women don't walk up to strangers unless they feel something, a spark, a curiosity, an attraction they can't ignore, and the question becomes her safe way to express it. She wants to see if you're capable of turning that tiny moment into something meaningful. She gives you the opening, but she wants you to be the one who steps through it confidently. A lot of men don't understand that women love subtlety. They love the dance of conversation, the build-up, the gentle back and forth. When she asks you something simple, she's not just hoping for an answer. She's hoping for a moment. She wants to see your smile, hear the tone of your voice, feel your presence. She wants to experience the energy you give off when you talk to her. She doesn't care about the answer to the question. She cares about the interaction it creates. For her, that moment is everything. It tells her whether you're approachable, charming, playful, or emotionally open. When you respond in a dry, factual way, the moment dies instantly. You close the door she opened. But when you respond with warmth or humor or even gentle interest, you bring the interaction to life. That's when she feels appreciated. That's when she feels seen. That's when she knows you are capable of connecting beyond surface level conversation. Women watch for that spark. They pay attention to how you expand the moment or shut it down. A simple answer gives her nothing. A thoughtful or playful answer shows her you understand the subtle language she's speaking. Women also use these moments to see if you're confident. Confidence isn't loud or aggressive. It's calm, steady, present. When she approaches you, she wants to see how you hold yourself. Do you panic? Do you act distant? Do you get awkward? Or do you stay relaxed and grounded? She feels that instantly. Women aren't just listening to your words, they're reading your body language, your tone, your eye contact, your comfort level. When you turn toward her fully, when you give her your attention without being nervous, when you respond like you're happy she spoke to you, she feels more drawn to you. Your confidence becomes attractive without you having to do anything extra. This is why women love men who can turn a simple question into an easy flowing conversation. She asks one small thing to see if you can naturally guide the interaction forward. This doesn't mean you need to flirt heavily or try too hard. It just means keeping the energy warm, real, and inviting. When a woman senses that you know how to let a conversation breathe, she instantly feels comfortable around you, and a woman's comfort is the gateway to deeper interest. If she feels unsafe, rushed, judged, or dismissed, she pulls away immediately. But if she feels seen and welcome, she naturally leans in. Women also appreciate men who pick up on their emotional cues. When she asks a question, she's not checking your intelligence, she's checking your intuition. She wants to see if you can sense her intention. She wants you to recognize that her question is a doorway, not a task. If you can read that, she feels understood without having to explain herself. That sense of being understood is incredibly attractive to women because it tells them you can connect on a deeper level. The moment becomes even more powerful when you stay calm and allow a little spark to form. A lot of men kill the spark by overthinking. They get stiff, they talk too fast, or they give too much information. But if you keep things smooth, focused, and easy, the energy shifts. She relaxes. She opens up more. She gives you more signs, all because you knew how to step into the moment she offered you. When men learn to see these subtle invitations, they stop missing opportunities and start creating genuine connections that could lead to something meaningful. When a woman asks you a small question to start a conversation, she is watching closely not just what you say, but how you say it. Your confidence, your presence, and your ability to hold the moment matter more than the information you give. She doesn't care about the facts, she cares about the feeling. Women are extremely sensitive to the emotional tone of an interaction. When she approaches you, she wants to see if you can match her energy, if you can create a comfortable space, and if you have the kind of personality that makes her feel drawn in rather than pushed away. Most men think they need polished lines or clever responses, but women aren't looking for perfection. They're looking for connection. And connection is built from how present you are in that moment. When a woman asks a question, she's also watching how you handle pressure, even if it's tiny. A lot of men get tense when a woman they find attractive speaks to them. They overthink, stumble over words, or shut down emotionally. But when a man stays relaxed, when he responds naturally, makes eye contact, lets his body language stay open, she instantly feels safer around him. Women value safety deeply, both emotional and physical. If you speak with calm confidence, you show her that you're someone who can handle yourself and the situation without becoming awkward or distant. That sense of stability becomes incredibly attractive without you even realizing it. Your charm is another powerful factor. Charm isn't about being smooth or rehearsed. It's about being genuine. It's the little moments, the soft smile, the slight joke, the warm tone in your voice. Charm makes her want to continue the conversation. She asks one question, but she's hoping your response gives her a reason to ask another. If your energy is inviting, she leans closer, she stays longer, she asks more. Women don't stay in conversations with men they don't feel comfortable with. If she keeps talking to you, It's because you made her feel good in that first exchange. Women also look for emotional intelligence. If you show that you understand her tone, her intention, or the feeling she's giving off, she becomes more drawn to you. Emotional intelligence is one of the biggest signs of maturity, and women appreciate men who understand more than just literal meaning. When you notice her smile, her playful tone, or her interest, and you respond in a way that reflects that, she feels acknowledged. Women want men who can read the moment, not just the words. This makes her feel connected on a deeper level. It tells her you're not just hearing her, you're understanding her. Another thing women respond to is how you hold the conversation. If you answer her question and then let the silence fall flat, she'll take it as a sign that you're either uninterested or unsure of yourself. But when you answer and then add a small follow-up, something simple, something light, you show her that you're capable of guiding the interaction. Women love men who can keep a conversation alive without being pushy or overly eager. That gentle flow builds comfort and chemistry. It tells her you're someone she can enjoy talking to. Women also appreciate when a man shows genuine interest, not in a desperate or exaggerated way, but in a natural, attentive way. When you look at her like you're truly listening, when you respond like the interaction matters, she feels valued. Women can tell instantly when a man is distracted or impatient, but they can also feel when a man is fully present with them. Presence is rare, and that's why it's powerful. When you make her feel like she's the only one in the room, even briefly, she becomes more open, more warm, and more engaged. All of this, your confidence, your charm, your emotional awareness, your presence, matters far more than the literal words you say. Women remember how you make them feel. If she feels comfortable, if she feels seen, if she feels a spark, that tiny question she asks becomes the start of something much bigger. Men who understand this stop missing opportunities and start creating meaningful connections simply by being aware of the moment a woman gives them.